It's the biggest UFC event of the year, and it's all going down in the Big Apple in the iconic Madison Square Garden. What's up, fight fans? Welcome to the Superbook Sports UFC 281 betting preview. Ron Kruck, joined today by Glory Kickboxing title challenger and a member of one of the top fight teams in the world, Killcliff FC, Donegi Abena. Donegi, welcome into the show, my man.
Yes, good afternoon, people. How are you doing?
Doing fantastic, man. And I'm excited to have you a part of this show and getting a kickboxer's take on really what is one of the most intriguing main events in recent history, as reigning middleweight king Israel Adesanya tangles with former two-division Glory Kickboxing champion Alex Pereira in a trilogy fight between the two. And Donegi Abena is the man to break this fight down, because he fought Alex Pereira back in 2019 for the Glory Light Heavyweight title. Donegi, it wasn't the outcome that you had hoped for, obviously, but you fought Pereira 3 rounds, ultimately losing by knockout, but you gave him all he could handle that night. What makes Pereira such a dangerous fighter?
His specialties is especially his distance. You know, his distance is very good, and he shoots clean. It's very clean. Every shot he throws is clean on the jaw. It twists your jaw and you go out. This is all it is. And for his weight category, he's a huge guy. He's very huge. He's tall,
he's
lanky.
Massive.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Well, it's such an intriguing matchup because Alex Pereira has 2 wins over the champion Israel Adesanya going back to their kickboxing days. And the Brazilian is still the only man to knock Izzy out. But that was in kickboxing, which, as you know, completely different set of rules. So do Pereira's previous wins, do they mean anything coming into their first MMA fight?
No, not at all. Not at all. The sport is way different. The distance is way different. But Pereira has equalizer in his left hook, and if it lands, you go sit down. But as we can see, Adesanya is very elusive. You know, he uses his eyes very well, his movement very well, and they are both tall guys for the division. So I would not say that the previous fight is something that is going to happen again. Not at all. I don't believe that.
Great insight. What about the mind games going into this fight, Donegi? It has to be in Izzy's head that he's lost twice to Pereira, and those wins have to give the Brazilian major confidence coming into the title fight. Do you think the mental edge goes to Pereira in this fight?
No, I doubt that seriously, because the fights were a long time ago. They were a long time ago, different sports, and Adesanya has reigned for the last couple of years over the middleweight division of the UFC, and that gave him a boost. That gave him a boost, you know, especially against wrestlers. He won from wrestlers, and even with the strikers, he haven't really fought strikers besides Silva and the small guy. Kevin, I think, was a good striker as well. Yeah, Gastelum, yes. He was a good striker as well, but I don't see it like that. I don't see it like that. Adesanya is very elusive, difficult to touch. He has a good movement, a good eye, and Pereira is tall, lanky, has a hard hook. But if you go back to the first 2 fights of them, Adesanya, especially the last one, the last kickboxing match of him, Adesanya gave Pereira a standing 8 count. So Adesanya do have the power to take him out. But if you go and look power for power, it's more that Pereira has the edge in that thing, you know?
Sure. The UFC middleweight strap is on the line, and the current fight odds coming in from superbook.com have the champion, Israel Adesanya, as the minus 210 favorite. The comeback on the challenger Pereira is at plus 180. Donegi, can Pereira beat Izzy for a third time? Who wins and how do they get it done?
Of course, of course, Pereira can beat him. Pereira's not gonna out kickbox him. Never, never. He can outpower him. He can knock him out, but then he has to stand. And Adesanya is elusive. He is elusive. 3 rounds, 3 minute fight. It is 5 rounds, 5 minute fight. So the longer the fight goes, the more it is in favor of Adesanya because he uses less power and he does more. And the power of Pereira is nice, but it comes with a price, and that is his gas tank. Power always takes your gas tank. So the longer the fight goes, the more I favor it for Adesanya. And if it's pure about kickboxing stand-up, Adesanya is the better striker. In meaning like he's more technical one. This points, low kick, jab, move. But the equalizer from Pereira is is a big factor in this fight. If he lands, it's over. If he doesn't land, let's say it how it is, a little bit fucked up because Adesanya will outwork him. Adesanya will definitely outwork him. But the left hook can land anytime. It can land anytime. So we have to keep that in mind. But world star wise and kickboxing wise, my favorite goes to Adesanya. But Pereira can take your lights out any minute. So he has to be sharp for 25 minutes. He has to be because the left hook, it's there. It's there. It's sharp. It's clean. And it's powerful, man. Yeah. It's very powerful.
So who you going with? Great breakdown, but give us a prediction. Will it be the power of Pereira or does Adesanya get it done?
If the power lands, Pereira. In the first 2 rounds, I give it to Pereira. But 3, 4, and 5 in the championship rounds, it's Adesanya definitely. Definitely. And if I was Adesanya, I would just kickbox with him from a distance. Jab, low kick. Because Pereira doesn't block the kicks at all. So I would go jab, low kick, and keep it moving. Keep it movement, head movement, because if the punch lands, it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
And if I was Pereira, I should just pressure him, cut angles because Pereira is a strong guy. They're both strong, but because Pereira is the bigger guy, he should pressure him and walk him down. Pressure him and walk him down. And just set everything up for the left hook. Everybody knows it's coming.
It's coming.
But you still
Not
get
much
hit
you
with
can
it.
do.
That's it.
Very true. Great breakdown. I've called the Pereira fight not only in Glory, but in the Legacy Fighting Alliance when he got the win and the immediate call up to the UFC. And I have never seen a fighter with more power. And as you said, if he lands that one shot, that left hook, it's good night. But this is a striker's dream fight between two of the best in all combat sports. And I don't think that Izzy's getting enough credit for his power. Now, he has 15 knockouts. 11 of those, though, came before he was in the UFC. And recently, though, he hasn't been showing that same power. Last 3 wins coming by way of decision. But the other factor I see in this one, the champ has 17 more MMA fights, so experience definitely will be on his side. I think the speed is on Izzy's side. But as you well said, I mean, the power goes to Pereira. And I also think he has nothing to lose. So he has really no pressure on him. I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to go with the live underdog, Pereira. And I think we will see a new UFC middleweight champ being crowned.
Let's see.
Absolutely. All right. Well, fight fans, this is the time to get in and sign up at superbook.com. Download the app because Superbook is offering a massive UFC 281 knockout special. Just place a wager of $81 or greater on the money line of any fight and receive a $10 bonus voucher for every knockout, TKO, or DQ that occurs during the entire UFC 281 fight card. Or, gotta love this, double your wager to 162 or greater and receive $20 for every knockout, TKO, and DQ. If you double your wager, you will receive one entry into the UFC 281 Michael Chandler MMA gloves giveaway. You can win a pair of exclusive UFC signed gloves by title contender Michael Chandler. The women's strawweight title is also on the line in the co-main event when champion Carla Esparza kicks off her second reign as champion against former title holder Zhang Weili. This looks like it's going to be a classic clash of fight styles between the wrestler in Esparza and the striker in Weili. Current odds as of this recording from superbook.com, the challenger Weili is a massive -340 favorite. The comeback on the champion Esparza is at +280. Donegi, how do you see the strawweight championship playing out?
The thing is that Zhang Weili is strong. She is a very strong woman. I saw her pick up Francis Ngannou as it was nothing. So I'm going with Zhang Weili because she's very, very physically strong. You know, she can punch, she can attack. She's very strong. The champion can wrestle. She can go to the ground.
Right.
But I don't think it's going that way. And for far as I've seen is that the women often only defend the belt one or two times and lose it after that. So I understand why Zhang Weili is the favorite in the fight. I see it. I see why.
Absolutely. So Donegi Abena is going with the title challenger, Weili. For me, yes, you know, it's been 7 years since Esparza defeated former champion Rose Namajunas to become that inaugural UFC strawweight champion. And she did that on the strength of her wrestling game. And although she's evolved as a striker, it's still all about her wrestling. Complete opposite style for Weili, technical striker, as you mentioned, Donegi, extreme power. And she uses volume to damage her opponents. 11 knockouts on her resume, so she knows how to finish a fight. I think that Esparza, she better not have that same lackluster performance she did against the even more lackluster Rose Namajunas in their last fight, or it's going to be a quick night. I think Esparza will try, of course, and take Weili down. But the Chinese fighters got pretty decent takedown defense, stopping takedowns 60% of the time. So those takedowns are not a given. I think those failed takedown attempts by the champ will result in some heavy damage landed by Weili. She'll use that defense to keep this fight standing, where I think she should dominate. So I'm with you on this one. I will take her to get the TKO and reclaim the strawweight title. All right, get in on the UFC 281 knockout special by going to superbook.com, sign up and download the app, place a wager of $81 or greater on the money line on any fight, and you get a bonus voucher for every knockout, TKO, and DQ that happens during the entire fight card. And I mean, Donegi, there's going to be some finishes, aren't there?
There will be. I think that every championship fight is going to be a finish. Wow. And yeah, I think so because of the middleweight, they both have the ability to knock the other out. Yeah. And for the women, I think Weili is going to finish her. And even for the third fight, the Chandler versus Poirier, there's a very big chance that there's going to be a knockout or TKO because both guys have power. Chandler has more of the one-punch knockout power, while Poirier is the more technical boxer, more technical jab, setting combinations up. So I see a finish there. I see a finish there as well.
Yeah. All right, we're going to get to that fight, but as you just heard Donegi say, there's going to be some finishes. So you might want to double your wager to $162 or greater, and then you receive $20 for every knockout, TKO, and DQ. And you get exclusive access and entry into the Michael Chandler gloves giveaway. You could win a pair of signed autographed gloves by the title contender, Michael Chandler. And speaking of Mr. Chandler, he is looking to get another shot at the 155-pound title, but so is his opponent, Dustin Poirier. What a matchup we have in what could be really, in my opinion, the UFC's most competitive division, when former interim champion, number 2 ranked lightweight Dustin Poirier squares off against multiple Bellator champion Michael Chandler. Both men lost with gold on the line to the former champion, Charles Oliveira, but a win could really earn either of them the next title shot. Donegi, Dustin Poirier and Michael Chandler, they really don't like each other, and they proved that with an altercation after UFC 276, which just adds fuel to the fire. You trained at Kill Cliff with Michael Chandler. How is his preparation for the match gone, and what do you think he needs to do to get a win?
Yes, I think he needs to be patient. He needs to be very patient and let his power go when it needs to go. Because against the Gaethje fight, ting, 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 the bell ring, and he went guns blazing. He went blazing. So I think he should wait with his power, because he can take a shot because he has a chin. He can take a shot, and he also can box. He can strike, even though his fundamentals are from wrestling, but he can strike. So I should just wait with his power. Be patient. And as soon as he hit him with the 4-ounce gloves, then he should let everything out, but not from the ring, guns blazing. No, I should not do that.
Yeah. Good insight for sure, especially since you know Chandler very well. It's a matchup that has fight of the night potential and a future lightweight title shot on the line. 2 of the top lightweights in the sport, Michael Chandler and Dustin Poirier, finally get to settle their differences in the octagon at UFC 281. Current odds from superbook.com have the former interim champ Dustin Poirier at -220. He is the favorite. The comeback on the challenger, Michael Chandler, plus 190. Donegi, who wins this huge matchup?
Well, this is a really difficult one for me. It's a very difficult one because they are very close. They're very close. As I already mentioned, Poirier is the more technical boxer because he also has a boxing background. I can really see him set things up with a jab movement, jab, and working head body. And I hope that we see a little bit of Chandler's wrestling. I hope we see that. So the transition from punch, takedown, and a ground and pound. Because standing up with Poirier is very, very difficult because he is a southpaw, of course, and he has the movement and he has the volume. He's very technical sound and he's very good in his rhythm, So
yes,
I want to see a little bit of wrestling from Chandler as well. I want to see that. And he's a very strong guy. If I see him walking around in the gym, he's very, very physically strong. I think he's stronger than Poirier just for the physical part. So I want to see him use his wrestling a little bit. Shoot his shot, shoot, and then shoot for the takedown and go from there. And I can't really mention a winner because it's 2 different styles of fighting, man. It's 2 way different styles of fighting. So you have the power puncher, and you have the more technical south one. So it's difficult. And Chandler, he has the X factor, the equalizer, because he has 1-punch knockout. He has it. You saw it against Hooker. You throw a left long hook, poof, man was down in an instant. So he has to wait to use that. Otherwise, he will gas out because Poirier doesn't throw everything hard. He just gets in a rhythm and keeps working. You saw it against Justin Gaethje, when he just TKO'd him with punches with volume, head low, just with volume. And Chandler will gas out if he starts guns blazing in a second as soon as the bell rings. So I would like to see Poirier just work. He just
Right.
work, and Chandler has to be patient, very, very patient, and let his explosiveness go whenever it's needed. Not from the start, but once he hit him with a jab, pressure him, and then go all out.
Uh, Great insight and breakdown for sure. I'm going to give you a minute to make a prediction. I'll give you mine
Oh.
first because I'm Donegi. I'm 100% with you, man. This is a real tough fight for me to predict, almost a coin flip. One reason outside of the octagon, I mean, I've interviewed these two for over a decade, and these are two of the class acts of the sport. They represent MMA so well. And as you pointed out, very similar fighting styles. They're always looking for a finish. They have combined for 39 career finishes, and that's why
Wow.
fight fans love these guys so much. Poirier looking to rebound after his title fight loss to Oliveira, and in his long career, he has never suffered back-to-back defeats. So he's looking to keep that streak going. Chandler has some momentum going for him after that highlight reel knockout of Tony Ferguson. I think the big key is exactly, Donegi, what you said, is if he can use his D1 wrestling background, I think he will have the edge in the grappling department. Bottom line is there are going to be fireworks in this fight. And I believe it's a toss-up coin flip. And if there's a coin flip matchup, I'll take my chances with the underdog. I'll take the odds, and I'm going to go with Michael Chandler in this one. How about you?
Yeah, I think I would do the same. Take the risk.
Nice.
Take the risk for some money. Yes, of course. Of course. And if you can see, Chandler has knockouts everywhere. While we see with Poirier, it's especially the hands, especially his
Right.
boxing, what gives him the knockout. And with Chandler, you saw he TKO'd Ferguson with the tip to the face. So
Brutal.
he has everywhere power. Yeah. So I would go with Chandler for sure. And for all the fights, I would bet on a knockout or a TKO. I would do that. I would do that for sure because all these fights won't go the distance. I doubt it seriously. I really, really doubt it
I'm with
seriously
you.
because every fighter has knockout power. You know,
Absolutely.
nah, I would go for the
Yeah.
knockouts everywhere. Yeah, for sure.
I love that bet, Donegi. Just finishes all over at UFC 281. This card is stacked from top to bottom. Should be an incredible night of fights. Donegi, great job today. Really appreciate your time and how you broke down those fights. Give fight fans an idea when they can expect you back in action.
Mm, Beginning of next year, I think end of
Okay.
January, I will be back. I will be
Awesome.
back, and it will be massive. Believe me, it's going to be massive. It's going to be nice. You're going to enjoy your time.
I love it. Donegi Abena, thank you again for the time. Fantastic insight. And as you heard from the Glory Kickboxer, he thinks there's going to be some finishes. I think there are going to be some finishes. Get to superbook.com, sign up, download the app, get in on the massive UFC 281 knockout special, and double up your bet too for a chance to win Michael Chandler's MMA gloves. All right. Donegi, thank you so much for the time. Enjoy the fights, my man.
Yes, thanks for having me, and I will. You too.
Thanks, buddy.